What's going on, guys? I've decided to make a little appearance after a week of not doing videos. Sorry, it's a bit dark, isn't it? But I guess that kind of clouds the mood of Arsenal Football Club, doesn't it? This has been a horrible week. Absolutely horrible week being an Arsenal fan. Well, just over a week. First we lose Rice to a red card. We drop points against Brighton, so we're now 2 points behind City. Even though it's early days, you know, you don't want to be behind City this early on. We were last season. But yeah, and we managed to claw it back just within a point of City towards the end of the season. But anyway, that happened. Then Calafiori got injured, and then Odegaard got injured. And you know what? It's funny actually. Well, no, it's not funny. It's painful. But I mean, I was actually thinking of doing a video 3 weeks ago saying, what if Odegaard gets injured? I was going to do a video with that basically as the title, and I was going to talk about my concerns about if Odegaard got injured, because I thought if he gets injured, like, we're kind of screwed. Like, if it's a long-term one, we are screwed, because there's no one who can come in who is on his level. Even if we had a Smith Rowe or a Fabio Vieira still at the club, they're not Odegaard. So either way, we would have been screwed. And now that's happened. I didn't want to do that video because I didn't want to jinx it, but he's gone and got injured. Injured anyway. In a pointless game for Norway. So that's. I'm not gonna say we're a one-man team. Like, we're still a very, very good team without a Saka if he gets injured, or without an Odegaard who gets injured. We're still, you know, Arteta's created a very good team, but without Odegaard for more than 10 games of the season, we will not win the league. No chance. Absolutely no chance are we winning the league. But I still trust the team to obviously get in the top 2, top 3. But winning the league, forget about it. We're not City. We can't just have De Bruyne and Haaland back for Haaland injured, for large parts of the season and still win the title. We do not have that. We're not quite where City are in the process, but you know, I think we're 90% there, in the sense that our starting 11's very good, our squad's good, but the 10% problem is if Odegaard was to get injured, or Saka was to get a long-term injury, or Saliba. Those 3 players, if we get an injury to those 3 players, you can kiss our season goodbye, seriously, in terms of winning the title. But anyway, let's not dwell on it. So he's injured. He's probably not going to play in the North London derby, and that's a big problem. And then we've got Man City a week after. That's a big problem. And I'd actually go as far as to say this Tottenham game, I know we'll only be 4 games in after this Tottenham game finishes, but I would go as far as to say, if we don't beat Tottenham, then I'm worrying. And to be honest with you, I think it's a must-win game. I think it's a must-win game, even 4 games in after the Spurs game. I think it's must-win, because when you look at it, we're 2 points behind them already. If we draw to Spurs, and obviously City win, we're 4 points behind City. So you're going into a game away at City 4 points behind them. If they then beat us and go 7 points ahead of us, you can kiss the title goodbye. I'd go that far. Because 5 games in, to be 7 points behind City, you know, it's bad enough clawing back points against Man City when you're a point behind them. But 7 points? So Man City will have to drop points in 3 games. And that means we have to obviously not drop points in 3 games. And it's an ongoing cycle, and it's clawing that back is difficult. And I just feel that's why if we beat Spurs and we do happen to just lose to City, I think 4 or 5 points is not catastrophic. It's not. But 7 would be, and you never know, we might lose to Spurs. So then it would be 8 points behind them if both them and City beat us. So it's worrying. It's a must-win game for us. We have to beat Spurs, but we're not going to have Odegaard. We're probably not going to have Calafiori. So the big question is, who starts? Who starts? And that's what we're going to talk about quickly in this video. So obviously Raya starts. Ben White starts right back, and then you've got Saliba, Gabriel centre-backs. And then I think you have to start Kivior at left-back, because I tell you what, if you start Zinchenko or Timber at left-back, it's the wrong decision. They're both the wrong players for Spurs away. You know, Timber and Zinchenko are great, particularly Timber, when you want to break the lines and there's a team parking the bus and you want someone to just help, carve a team open with defense splitting passes or escaping a press. Timber's great, and if you want, precise passes, Zinchenko's great. So that's where you got to use them two, because the amount of teams that are going to park the bus against us this season, we're going to need those two. But Spurs away, it's the wrong game. You already saw against Villa early in the season. Timber at left back was he's the wrong player at left back. You don't want to be going to these big. Timber's not the right player for when we're playing against the better teams away from home. He's absolutely not. And even at home against a team like Brighton, who are very, very good, I don't think Timber's the right player either for that kind of game. I think for games where you're playing against better teams, I think it has to be Kivior, Tomiyasu, or Calafiori. Ideally, I want Calafiori starting. If Calafiori's fit, he starts at left back. He's a must at left back. If he's injured, and that you go Tomiyasu's injured, you go Kivior. So I think Kivior has to come in for this game away at Spurs, because we're not going to have most of the ball. It's just going to be tough. We need big players who not necessarily are that great on the ball, but have got the physicality and can slot in at left back and just be solid. So Kivior at left back, that's the non-negotiable. So you've got those 5 players that I've mentioned now. So now we're without Rice, Marino. Oh yeah, forgot to mention Marino is obviously injured for 2 months, isn't he? So yeah, there we go. So Rice and Marino are out. Odegaard will be out. So who starts? Now we've got various different options. I'm going to name 3 options for you. So Partey starts. He's in all of the 3 options. So option 1, Partey starts alongside Jorginho. Option 2, he starts alongside Zinchenko or Timber. So that's option 2. And then option 3 is you start Partey alongside Ethan Nwaneri. So I'm thinking it's either Nwaneri, Zinchenko or Timber, and Jorginho next to Partey. And I'm still undecided of which one I'd prefer, because then the other positions you go, it picks itself. Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left, Trossard in the 10, Havertz up front in the false 9, and then Havertz can drop deep, and then Trossard can go up front. Happy with that, but it's just who starts alongside Partey. I think Zinchenko. I know I said Timber and Zinchenko are the wrong players for this game, but they're the wrong players at left back. If we play them in midfield, I'm not actually too fussed with that. And Jorginho, I love Jorginho, but would it be too defensive playing him alongside Partey? Nwaneri, he's 17. Is he too young? I wouldn't start Nwaneri. I think he's too young. So let's blow that suggestion out the window. Do you know what I would do? I would go with Partey alongside Zinchenko or Timber. That's what I would do. I wouldn't play those 2 at left back. I'd play one of them next to Partey, or one of them next to Jorginho. So that you've got, because I think Jorginho and Partey might be just a little bit too defensive, but still those 2 options, I'm content with any of them. But I'm just thinking, with Spurs, are we paying Spurs a little bit too much respect in playing Jorginho and Partey? Do we need 2 defensive midfielders? So I'm thinking, the best solution would be to play one of Partey or Jorginho next to Zinchenko or Timber. That's what I would do. And then obviously, like I've said, Kivior has to start left back, and then you've got the front 4, which picks itself. And then off the bench, you can bring on Sterling, you can bring on Jesus if he's fit. You can bring one of Zinchenko or Timber on, or if none of them start, you can bring both of them on. And then it's a hard one, but that's what I would do against Spurs. And yeah, let me know what you think. Which option do you prefer? Or is there another option which I haven't even mentioned? Either way, it's a shit situation. We don't want to be without Rice and Mourinho for too long. Rice will be back for City, but for this one, we're going to miss all three of basically our first choice midfield. It's not good. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys later.